take out bald guidelines. Alright, so like I said, today's video is about bald guidelines. We're going to talk about the trimmer line that we initially put in. We're also going to focus on how to use the shaver and not leave a super defined line. I'm going to show you guys all the tips that I use in that area, because it's a difficult area and that is what shows the most when we do a fade. So we're going to focus on that. I'm going to really break it down. I got the camera zoomed in nice and close so you guys can see what we're doing. And then after that, I'm even going to run you guys through the rest of my fade process, zoomed in, up close and personal, and a little bit slow-mo so you guys can really break it down. Hope you guys take something away from it, but let's get right into the haircut. Alright guys, we got Jackson in the chair. We're going to do a bald fade. If you pay attention to the bald guideline, we're going to follow the shape where we connect it to the length on top. So if you guys see the shape on top, we're going to do our bald guideline in the same exact shape. And I like to punch this in. Guys, this is a Andis Slimline Pro. It's not very sharp, but it's perfect for the bald guideline because when we go to take that line out, it's going to be a lot easier than taking out a line from, let's say, a skeleton trimmer. Now I'm going to show you guys two different processes here. Normally I bald out a small section, as you can see, and then come underneath with the skeleton. But on the front sideburn, I'm just going to bald out with the slimline, and I want to show you guys the difference. So if you guys pay attention, you can see his hair follicles. You can tell how bald the slimline is getting him. So you can really still see the hair follicles. You guys can tell there's still some hair there, and the shaver's going to have a much more difficult time. So we're going to start out, guys, we're going to take the shaver up about a ½ inch below the trimmer line that we started with. Now that's a problem I see a lot of time, guys. You're going to take the shaver way too high and go all the way up to the bald guideline, and that's going to be hard to take out. So if you guys pay attention, I made a hard line, and now I'm going to tap my shaver on that line. Sometimes I'll move down. You guys see I'm just basically trying to blend that in and get rid of that shaver line. You see that tapping the shaver is doing that. Now this next process is how I normally do it, and I want to explain it to you guys so it makes sense, but you guys can see how harsh that shaver line was in the area that we balded out with the slim line. So now guys, this is how I like to do it. I'm going to use my sharper trimmer. You saw we balded out a little bit of area with the slim line. Now I'm going to come under it with the sharper trimmer. You guys should already be able to tell the stubble is a little bit less defined. That's going to do two things here, guys. It's going to leave less of a shaver line when we do use the shaver, and the shaver is going to have a lot easier time balding out behind the skeleton. So if that makes sense, guys, the slim line leaves it a little bit longer. The shaver has to work a little bit harder, and there's a bigger difference between the shaver and the slim line. So when we do the slim line first and then the skeleton, it's a little bit shorter, and then we do the shaver underneath that. We're doing 3 lengths basically within one section. And I know that's the problem, guys. A lot of us, we don't treat this like a section. We just do our trimmer line, we take our shaver all the way up to it, and we cause ourselves more harm than good. So you guys can see now the shaver is going to come in nice and easy right into that skeleton length that we did. It's going to leave less of a line, and it's going to be much quicker to go ahead and get this transition set, and then we can work our way up from here. And you guys see still a little bit of tapping with the shaver is necessary, but you can see we have a nice smooth transition, and it was much easier. I know you guys can't hear the shaver, but if you could, it was really having to work hard over that slim line, and the skeleton just makes it work a little bit easier. And like I said, the shaver transitioning to the skeleton length is much easier than going to the slim line. But you guys can see that tapping motion with the shaver is really going to take out that line that it leaves. And the main key, guys, is not to take the shaver too high. Leave yourself about a ½ inch to blend out that shaver line. And you guys can tell we have a nice smooth transition up to the slim line that we started with. And now we'll move on to our open section, and I'll show you guys why that's important. So real quick, guys, we are going to do our open section about 3/4 of an inch up. And I want you guys to pay attention. You know I like to punch in my bald guideline. And the reason being, guys, now that we have the open section done, you can see we have a very defined bald guideline. So if you guys scoop your line in, sometimes it's not as neat, and that's going to affect the end result. So a lot of people do it different ways. You can do it that way, but the reason I like to do it that way, guys, is I have a nice defined bald guideline, and now I can come in and take it out nice and easy. So remember, guys, we punched it in with the slim line. So what we're going to do first is just barely scoop that line up with the same trimmer that we put it in with. And you guys will see how easy that trimmer line comes out. So we're not going to use our clipper closed yet. We're just going to bump that up, and you see that took that line out, and we have a nice, clean, consistent section to work our way up into. Now guys, just like polishing up a fade, if there's any lines left between the slim line and the skeleton, I can just come back in with my skeleton and soften that up before we move on to the clipper close. Now we saved ourselves a lot of trouble by taking the ball guideline out with the trimmer, and you guys will see now we are able to just bump that line up slightly with the clipper all the way closed, and then all we have left after that, guys, is to use the clipper halfway open on this last line that's left behind. So now the clipper's halfway open, and we're gonna go ahead and take out that last line, and you guys see how easy it was. I didn't have to battle with that ball guideline. I'm not coming in with the clipper closed and it's not touching the ball guideline. You guys can see how easy we just made that transition from bald, even shaver bald, up to an open clipper. Now I hope that was helpful for you guys. Watch it again if you need to. Really break that down. It really should simplify things for you guys, and you should never be battling a ball guideline again. But real quick, I want to go ahead and walk you through the rest of my steps. Just as simple, guys, just to make it really easy for you guys moving forward to do your fades. And I will go ahead and show you guys the rest of the steps I do. We started with a number 2 on top. Now we're gonna come in with our open 1, and basically, guys, you can see we are flicking out, making our next guideline another 3/4 of an inch up. The guideline isn't super noticeable because we are flicking out, but we want to stay really consistent with how far we go up as we work our way across the same guideline. And again, guys, we're following the shape of the open guideline that we have. So we're gonna go ahead with our 1 open. We started with the 2 closed right above that. You guys can see it's basically blending in. We will have to use our 1.5 a little bit to clean that line up, and then we can work on that bottom guideline. So now we're coming in with the 1.5, guys. The 1.5 is halfway open. You should not use the 1.5 or the half for a whole section. It is only to connect the 1 to the 2 and the open section to the 1. So you can see with it halfway open, I'm going right through that line above the open 1, and it should connect all of that together, leaving only the line at the bottom between the open section and the 1. Now we just have 2 guards left, guys. We'll come in with the 1 guard all the way closed, and we should flick right into that open 1, and it's gonna lighten up the line above the open section. So you guys see we still have a hint of that line left, but we should be able to flick up to the open 1, right below where we did the open 1 with the 1 closed, leaving just that little bit of a line behind. So we don't wanna see a guideline here, guys. Again, if you put a little bit of a line in, open up your lever and take it out, but then we can come in with the half guard and blend all of this together, and we'll be done with this side. Now, guys, the half guard is halfway open. That is the sweet spot between the open section and the closed 1. Again, you guys should not be using this for a whole step. It will throw off the look of your blend, so you do not want to use it for a whole step. It is only meant to be used halfway open and right between these 2 sections. And you guys see we're just going through here, cleaning up the last little hint of a line, and we should be done with this side. Now, of course, if you need to polish, if you need to get any guards back out, you can. I may go back to an open clipper if I need to and clean up below this. Just depends on how the fade comes out. Jackson has that dark coarse hair, so sometimes it does take a little bit of detailing, but I believe I'm just gonna line it up after this. I just wanted to show you guys how quickly we can go through that process and how simple it needs to be. I hope you guys aren't overcomplicating it. I hope this breaks it down for you and you guys can take something away from this process. Now we're just gonna edge up this C cup and you guys can check out the finished product. If this was helpful, guys, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you took away from this video. If you liked it, of course, smash that thumbs up, guys. It helps the channel so much when you guys do that. I would love to see 500 likes on this video. Let's see if you guys can do it. And if you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications so you guys don't miss another video from me. As always, guys, I appreciate every single one of you who watches my videos, and I'll catch you guys next time.